Mga mamaps and pop-ups, um, to be able to, my own vision was to be able to help those um, go through the things, most of us will go through as we age. And so, yung iba, although they will think it's just Hi mga mamas and papas! Welcome to Facial Value. And on this video, we will have a different kind of spin, and it will be different from the usual thing that Facial Value does about aging. Why? Because there are two things. One, I'm going to do a certain announcement later on about facial value, which we would like to, or I would like to share to all the mom-ups and pop-ups who've been with us for the past more than a year and a month or so. And also, it is very much related to the title of the song that is done by Miss Morissette Amon. And the title of the song is Resignation. And we will do a reaction on this song that she did during lockdown. And I know mga mamaps and pop-ups, you have seen a lot of reaction video about the song that she did, Resignation. But we will do a different spin wherein we are going to discuss the lyrics, or we will react to the lyrics of the song in Resignation. So later on, mga mamas and papaps, I will explain what is the relation, why I ended up doing a reaction video on the song, and in relation to the announcement that I'm going to do later on. So please stay put and don't go away. Finish the entire video, and hopefully I will be able to share something to you that is quite personal and important about facial value. So without further ado, let's start watching the video of the Asia Phoenix Morissette Amon.
Through all those times, I felt a happiness with you, even though you never felt the same way too. It's not that I didn't know what you felt in your heart, 'cause I felt it too.
Okay, so as react on the lyrics, the reason why I like this video very much, because sometimes, well, first, I really like the ambience or the background that the video was done, very simple with the crumpled paper and, the black and white. It kind of sets the mood of the song, or what you already know immediately that it is going to be a sad song. Now, anyway, on the first lyric, it is kind of relatable to a lot of us, because whether it is about love or anything in our life, sometimes we already know what is the truth, and our tendency is we try to avoid or not to face the reality because we do not want to deal with it. So in the end, we try to ignore the signs and ignore what is happening and try to go with the flow so that we don't rock the boat, and hopefully the situation will remain the same or will change later on if we get to ignore the signs. So this is not only, as I've said, about relationships, but also in other things in our life. So let's go to the second part.
Letting go, letting you leave it all behind is something I'll never get used to. And it hurts to know that you may never look my way again.
Okay, so on the second lyrics, as I've said, if the situation doesn't get to improve, we get to a point that we have to let it go, because sometimes it's too painful already to stay and not do anything, because all of us can only handle up to a certain point of the pain that you feel. And then you ended up really now deciding to let go of the person or the situation you are in. So actually the lyrics of the song is very beautiful, not only in terms of as a love song, but in general in how we deal with life.
Didn't you tell me what held you back? Did you ever think of everything I'd feel? You fell for me and said I had your heart, but you just let me fall, never tried to catch me at all.
Okay, so again, these phrases of the lyrics is very beautiful in a sense that like any other relationship or situation in our lives, it always starts beautiful, or it always starts hopeful, because otherwise you wouldn't be involved in it, or to proceed in doing something. And then later on, as you go along, you get to see that you're now the only one left doing everything in order to improve or to grow or to fix if there is a problem in the relationship or in a certain situation. So you feel alone and different, that you are just in it already by yourself, although you have someone, supposedly you are expecting someone to be there for you, but in the end, because the person oftentimes you feel that you are being taken for granted, then it is actually become more painful, knowing that you feel alone even if you have someone to depend on, versus to really just being alone and know that you have no one to depend on. So that is a certain correlation to the lyrics of the song in real life.
Should I hate you and try to just forget? Should I blame myself and live with this regret? If I could only do it all again, I would turn back time, back when I was yours and you were still mine.
Well, yan mga mamas and papaps. Sometimes you make you try to make decision, um sorry, uh I have to pause first. Okay, so the sometimes in life, even if you don't want to go and you want the situation to remain the same, um, you have to face reality that you have to move forward in order to become better, and to allow, the people who are involved, or the person you are, for example, in a relationship with, or whatever it is, or even in real life, not in a romantic thing, but something that affects you and the person involved. So you want for the both of you to be happy in life, and hopefully not regret your decisions as you move forward in life. Yeah. So let's move to the next phase of the movie.
Sana'y narinig sa iyong labi, di ganun iyong nadarama sa'kin. Hinayaan mong pusong nahuhulog at nasasaktan na nga ngayon. May magagawa pa ba? Malilimot pa ang mga sakit na kulang ba ang di nadamang pag-ibig? Kung maibabalik ang nakaraan nung ako'y iyong nangkin at do'y mayroong akong ikaw pa rin.
Mamas and papaps, this is what I like about this song, because it is multi-language. So it has the English, the Tagalog, and the Korean language. And in love songs, I often feel, I don't know if I just feel more emotional in our own language rather than in other language, but I always felt that when it comes to love songs, when it is sung in Tagalog or in our own language, it has more depth. Okay, so in relation to the reaction of the lyrics, is that like any other relationship, and of course the song Resignation is more on a love song. But as I've said, you can relate this to other relationship and not necessarily a love song. So, minsan kasi you start in a beautiful situation or in a friendship. But as I've said, the tendency is you have to face certain facts and try to make decision that will allow both of you to be better as a person, and to find the happiness that all of us generally are searching for in our lives. And this lyrics in Tagalog is more heartfelt, and it's really beautifully done and sung by Morissette. I'm falling in love with her as a singer, and that is quite big for somebody who's not that much into music. So let's proceed.
Since you decided to walk out the door, I won't question your choice anymore. Just please don't ever look my way again. I'll try to hold in the tears with a smile and hope that it can last me a while. Watching all of these fading memories, and it's finally clear to me we were never meant to be.
Wow, that is a very beautiful rendition of the song in Korean. Actually, the original song was sung by Lee Young Hyun, who is a very big singer or a popular singer in South Korea. And I'm really quite impressed on how Morissette tried to give justice to the song that was originally done by Lee Young Hyun, and even made it her own by doing it in multi-language and trying to really learn how to pronounce well Hangul or Hangul to deliver the song with all feelings and emotion. And honestly, this song is emotionally affecting me in a way of quite really sad, and the title really speaks for itself on a certain decision that some people need to do when it becomes necessary so that you can achieve stop hurting yourself or hurting the people you care about.
Hoping one day she could be all the happiness you never felt with me.
Okay, pause muna. Okay, mga mamas and papaps, I'm truly sorry if I got emotional on this video. This is in regards to my second announcement of what's going to happen with facial value. Mga mamas and papaps, we initially built facial value to be able to, my own vision was to be able to help those go through the things most of us will go through as we age. And so yung iba, although they will think it's just okay, they will think na medyo mababaw because it's about beautification, and then we ended up spinning it to a different issues about aging. And Anyway, uh, the reason why I chose this song, it is not about a love song or ano, it's about really its relation to its title, which is Resignation. There are some things in one's life that even if you want to move, continue, or proceed to doing the same thing, there are times na uh, there are there are times that we need to be resigned, and make certain decisions that will allow us to become better people in the long run. Uh, uh, in facial value, unlike I don't know about other YouTube channel, but in facial value, uh, me and Papa Jack have put so much along with the people in the, because if you have watched the YouTube, how to, our tip in regards to beginning a YouTube channel, we have mentioned there that facial value started as a part of a brand of a corporation, and we were hoping that we will expand it into an online shop and all those things that we would like to share to all our loyal viewers, um, in regards to aging well. And Jack and I have put our hearts in doing this channel, even if it has been quite really challenging. And uh, uh, we were so happy when we were accepted in the YouTube partnership program through your help. And I, we really are grateful for all the support that you have given us. And basically, we have achieved it because of the dentist, my colleagues, when they attended the infection control special edition that we posted in facial value, that supposedly it shouldn't have been posted in facial value, but due to technical stuff from in one of our site that is specifically for dental professionals, we ended up posting it on facial value. And in the end, it became a blessing in disguise because of the support that was given by a lot of our colleagues in watching the lecture on infection control. Anyway, if you're a dentist, please do watch that video. Anyway, as I've said, facial value will have a certain changes that will happen. I don't even know if it will retain its name or it will evolve into something else, because mga mamaps and papaps, to proceed in the channel, I will be already by myself. um, uh, Jack is very busy with his current life, especially with his job, and he will be unable to really proceed and do this continuously, based on the expectations that the channel is requiring uh, from us. And as the title of the song of Morissette, Resignation, there are things that you have to accept, no matter how painful it is, or no matter how difficult it is to accept, and sometimes hard to do. But that is life, mga mamaps and papaps. And just like well aging, you cannot control that process. So hopefully, mga mamaps and papaps, you still visit the channel Facial Value as we try to decide what will be its future, um, and whether it will be in a different name already, because our tandem, Papa Jack and I, will not be together doing the videos. So, and if it will be about something else. So, mga mamaps and papaps, if you do have any suggestions on what you think, if facial value will evolve into a different channel, ano po ang inyong suggestion, please do comment below so that we will have an idea on how to make facial value different, or will it remain the same, but ako na lang, mga mamaps and papaps. So please comment below on what you think will be the best in order for facial value to grow in a different way, and na sana magustuhan pa rin ng mga mamaps and papaps na nanonood sa amin kada linggo. Anyway, mga mamas and papaps, I'm sorry if I got a bit emotional. Of course, it's quite sad when you cannot continue doing the usual things that you got used to doing in 1 year. So, if you like this video, please still give me a thumbs up. And again, if you like facial value to continue, even if it may have a different name, please still do subscribe and hit that notification bell. Once we upload, it can notify you. So anyway, mga mamaps and papaps, yan po yung reaction ko sa Resignation, and based on the interpretation on the song Resignation, you can already read between the lines of sometimes what is the possible things why we need to change facial value, or for it to be different the next time. So, mga mamaps and papaps, please do pray for me and for the channel if it will still continue, or if it will change. But at the end of the day, mga mamas and papaps, maraming salamat po sa more than 1 year na support nyo sa amin and watching it. Every week. Sige. Okay, mga mamas and papaps. Bye-bye!